Shout out to Adrian Thomas for sending me this story. And this one almost sounds really familiar to a video I just did that was in Fairfax, Virginia. But this time we're going over to Ohio. No, it is not an opioid story. It's another one of those perverted teacher stories. So this man's name is John Austin Hopkins, and he has been accused of preying on first grade girls and was caught on surveillance camera doing so. Okay, it says a former Ohio gym teacher has been accused of molesting more than 24 first grade girls. John Austin Hopkins was indicted on 36 counts of gross sexual imposition after being captured more than 100 times on school surveillance tapes with his hands up the skirts or shirts of the girls or with them straddling his lap. We were able to identify 88 female first grade students who had some type of physical interaction with Mr. Hopkins. His focus definitely was on the little girls. Hopkins, age 25, of Springboro, Ohio, was grooming the victims, they said. The footage that allegedly implicated Hopkins was on surveillance video from Clear Creek Elementary School gymnasium between December 2018 and March 2019. And while the alleged abuse happened in front of the class, the little girls did not realize they were being taken advantage of. Oh, this guy was bold. They said the abuse was happening in front of the class, which was pretty much in front of all the students that he was teaching. They loved him as a teacher because of the amount of affection he was showing them. What these kids didn't realize was that that was completely inappropriate and criminal. Hopkins, who was arrested on Monday and is awaiting arraignment, was charged after a grand jury returned an indictment of 36 touching incidents involving 28 first grade girls. The suspect also taught physical education at the Springboro intermediate schools. This year, Hopkins taught both first and sixth grade at both schools. He was placed on administrative leave March 8th after a parent called the Springboro schools and reported inappropriate touching. He submitted a letter of resignation on March 12th when the criminal investigation was underway. Meanwhile, school officials alerted parents and guardians that Hopkins was under investigation. Hopkins has also resigned from his post as a swimming coach at the Kaufman YMCA in Springboro. Springboro is an affluent community midway between Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio. Notice that all the jobs that this man had was around children. Anybody who was around kids that daggone much doesn't surprise me when a story like this comes to the surface. But the fact of the matter is, this guy was extremely bold to do what he did in front of the class like it was nothing. And of course, the students, the girls, were not going to realize what he was doing was inappropriate because he probably put in their head that it was something completely different. And kids are really incorrigible, so they don't know what's really going on unless they really have in their mind that something is very inappropriate, or their parents tell them, don't let anyone touch you like this or like this. But they said 36 indictments, so that's one charge per girl, if I'm reading that correctly. No, I'm actually reading it incorrectly, as it says they were able to identify 88 first grade female students that he did this to. That's damn near every girl in the first grade. But it said he was doing it between 2 years, so now I understand he's been doing it for about a 2-year period. Just about. They need to start screening these teachers before they decide that they're going to hire them, because many of them are very perverted by nature. And not just the males, but the female teachers as well. They are not off the hook. Those female teachers, for the most part, many of them are the catalyst for why a lot of this stuff is happening. But I noticed that they tend to deal with them a little bit differently than they do with the males, because when they think of predatory nature, they usually link it back to the male species. But them women, you let them off the hook too much, they'll do a whole lot more. And that's probably why they do. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.